This is another video. If you haven't read the title, Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness. So, a little while ago, about the week it came out, we saw it on the Saturday that it came out, the weekend, when it dropped on Thursday, the midnight showings is what you want to call it. We saw me, Mark, and our friend Tanner saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Happened to be off on a Saturday, which is crazy. But we saw it. I wanted to wait a while before uploading a review of Doctor Strange. Get a lot more people a chance to go see it. If people end up coming across the review. I needed water. Where do you begin? You start with the beginning of the film and the end of the film, and the whole, from beginning to end, is a Sam Raimi film all the way through. You can definitely feel his fingerprints, his movie DNA, all throughout the film. With some Marvel DNA mixed in, like a mommy and a daddy, Kids, ask your parents. But it's a very good mishmash. I didn't know how Raimi was going to fare in the world of Marvel, the MCU Marvel. Obviously, we know him from Evil Dead and from Spider-Man and some other projects as well, but those are the two most people will think of when you think of Sam Raimi. This guy is a horror genius. He is a superhero wizard, and his directing and his point of view for this film and for the story and how the actors pull off their roles, really great. I think, like, the movie starts off really fast. Like, it gives you such high energy, and then maybe partway into it, a little bit into the film, it does slow down just a tiny bit, which the pacing kind of but slows down just a tiny bit, but not much. Because once the movie is over, it was like, holy shit, it's already over. Like, it's one of those movies. Not as much as Endgame, and Infinity War, where that was just like boom, 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 stuff's happening. Especially in Endgame, where the movie just keeps fucking grappling everything. Doesn't slow down. This movie definitely is along that same line, so like it doesn't slow down. There's a whole bunch of beautiful references, Easter eggs throughout the film, to people who, if you're gonna look for them. They have some of the Celestials in the backgrounds that people already recently found, and name dropped a bunch of things and stuff. So that's what I really like. But also just the way they introduced America Chavez. I didn't know how that was going to go. I didn't know if there's just going to be a shoehorn of a person of a ethnicity, but that's not white, into a series that has no importance to it. But she has importance. Her ethnicity is just a part of her. There's no importance to it, unlike where we need it in Black Panther, where Black Panther, his skin tone, his ancestry of African is a big part of that. That's different. I just hate when people just, for the sake of it, make somebody or add a character that isn't important to the story. America Chavez, the comics is really fun, but here I like her even more in this movie. The way they wrote her, the person who was cast as America Chavez, overall, she's just a great introduction to the universe and how powerful she could be. Like, Jesus Christ. And as you can see, like the last year, all the phase 4, right? Phase 4 stuff, they're bringing in the powerhouse characters. They're bringing in, you have America Chavez, you have the Eternals, you have Adam Warlock, you have all these powerhouse characters coming in, regardless of what they're going to do. They're leading up these powerhouses, and Thor: Love and Thunder is going to have some pretty godlike entities in it, with Thor the God Butcher and Thor, Jane Foster, and Valkyrie coming back. So it's going to be very interesting going forward for the MCU. But the movie has a wild ride. It takes you on this ride of like, oh, this is just going to be like like a buddy cop with Strange and Chavez, and then other ways you're like, oh, this is Doctor Strange film, and then this movie just, in the trailers they definitely do a good way of it. Where, but if you watch the WandaVision show, she gets a hold of a thing called the Dark Hold, and that plays into this film. And the Dark Hold um, has big importance to this movie. And if the movie actually kind of explains it without having to dumb you down and say sit down like here, but they do explain it, and they do drop references to WandaVision show, some of it, um, which is very interesting. But the Darkhold has a lot of books have a lot of time. The book of Tianti, I think that's how they pronounce it in the movie. Um, has a big importance to the film. Um, they get to see like this beautiful astral plane and stuff. It's really cool. But like those are big importance of magical artifacts, magical items, and time travel, and alternate people, and variants, and things like that, like from Loki, are in this movie, and it's just, and obviously you get a Bruce Campbell cameo in the movie as well, which is also cool. But the movie from start to finish, it's great. It pivots somewhere in the middle ish, maybe a little bit before the middle, where you start figuring out this is horror inspired, and it's not directly scary, but it can be for some younger children, is what I would like to call it. Um, I don't know. It's like all the inspiration from Evil Dead and other horror films that Sam Raimi's seen and has made its way into this film, and a lot of Evil Dead references, a lot of shots, and the way the cinematography looks, and the way he makes characters look and see, and it's just terrifying in the sense of this universe, not necessarily as if you watch horror films, but for the MCU, this is definitely a terrifying sight for the movie. It's beautiful, and I had a whole lot of fun with it. I think it's really good. I don't think it's the best Marvel movie, but it's really fucking fun and really good in that aspect of how Sam Raimi laid everything out, and how Kevin Feige also had him. You could go to point A to point B. If you can get from point A to point B, I think Raimi was able to do whatever the fuck he wanted, and I think that was a big deal for him. Because of, if you don't know the background behind Spider-Man 3, it's very important that he was able to get whatever he wanted into the film, or at least a good amount of control of the film. But it seems like he really put a lot into the film when he was directing it, and the actors seemed to really enjoy it. Wong being, obviously we get to see Wong's Sorcerer Supreme, where he still looks to Strange for everything. 616, which just is the universe we're in, that the movie name drops as well. A couple of spoilers now, like big spoilers. I've kind of sprinkled them in throughout the beginning of this review, but so the book of that Wanda has, Darkhold, is a big thing in the comic books, and it's a big thing now, and it's evil, and from what this movie has done is that used that as the catalyst to make Wanda be the bad guy. And I think once she got the Darkhold in WandaVision, I thought she might be a bad guy going forward. For a while, I think this is going to lead into her doing some stuff if she has died, but there's rumors that she might be getting a Scarlet Witch movie, which there's no 100% on that, but it'd be interesting if it did. But the movie, kicks off with a really cool action sequence, beautifully done. An evil Doctor Strange, or Doctor Strange that knew he needed to do something bad in order to try to save everything. Goes in America Chavez, gets herself out of there with the dead body of a Strange. Beautiful action sequence, beautiful Christine and Strange moment right after that. So during that time as well, establishing where Strange is at this point, and how he needs to figure out who he is and where he's going. And then the movie continues forth, and it's hard to really describe without really giving it away, but Wanda comes into the picture for help. Strange needs help, and turns out oh, you found somebody who can jump universes. I need that power, and that's how the conflict starts between Wanda Maximoff and Stephen Strange, and then it's a whole hunting grounds kind of thing with a lot of great big CGI action. With you see a Minotaur. I wish they would explain where the Minotaur came from. Probably from like the multiverse, but still, that was just something I saw in the movie. It's like, huh, I wonder where that Minotaur came from. In the monastery. And then when it starts kicking off and she's trying to get America Chavez, some horror shit like coming out of the water, killing people, crawling through a gong like fucking Ring style, which was fucking cool. You know, you can tell Wong is stronger than we think he is, but not strong as Strange. Then you go into the multiverse, and I'm just giving you like some of my thoughts. And there's a bunch of universe jumping. Universe jumping, get to see slightly different worlds. A Bruce Campbell cameo, which was hilarious. I'm not gonna give that away, but it's kind of funny. You don't quite see who it is at first, and after a few seconds, you're like, oh, that's Bruce Campbell. My friend Tanner turned to me. He's like, you know who that is? I'm like, yeah, I know who it is, bro. Bruce Campbell. But it gets darker and darker and scarier, and Wanda becomes this monster. And if you take your kids to see this movie, be warned, it's gonna fuck them up if they're young, little, tiny kids. And I've heard stories of like little kids who got parents who take little kids, and let's just say the kids cried and left. In my showing, it wasn't nothing bad like that. That we saw, but and some other showings, I know people who saw it, and where it's like kids just they left in the middle of the film because it was too dark, it's too scary. John Campea told a really great story of like one of his viewers, like their parents went have this little 6-year-old had a Wanda Vision and a Vision doll, and he gave her the Wanda doll back, and because he was scared of her. That was really crazy and really funny. I like to say it's PG-13 for a reason. It's Sam Raimi. You should go into the film thinking it's going to be dark, and then if you see it, and then you think your kid can see it, go see it. That's what I think. As a child, I probably could have saw this because I saw very R-rated horror films as a kid, so different from me. Wanda gets darker and more fucked up. She jumps universes with her mind and stuff, which is cool. It's just peak Wanda being batshit insane, which that's the character in my opinion. This movie established how immensely powerful she can be, and the movie drops that the MCU is the 616 universe in this movie universe, that the main continuity, the main world, our Strange, is the 616 universe, which is great. That's really fun. At the beginning of the film as well, Strange refers to Spider-Man, but doesn't say, who Spider-Man is, so maybe he has memories of Spider-Man, just doesn't know who he is, which is great. That's another little thing that they drop in there on purpose, I think, for us to make us think just a little bit. Once you get to farther into the film, you jumping universes, you get to this universe where Mordo is there, and Strange gets captured by them and stuff, and he gets put in front of what we call the Illuminati. One of the coolest parts of the movie, for the fans, this is very much like a fan service kind of part, but it's also really good and central to the story. You get put in front of the Illuminati, and you have a grouping of characters. You have Captain Carter. You have Black Bolt from the Inhuman show, Anson Mount, crazy as fuck. You have Captain Marvel, which is, I forgot the actress's name, but she's Rambeau, I think is her name, from Captain America. And then you have one of the cool pops of that part was John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, which I think he did a good job. Some people didn't like it, but I liked it. It was pretty cool. His suit looked really clean and cool. And the fact that we memed John Krasinski into being Mr. Fantastic is hilarious. And then you see it, the chair, and you see the X-Men animated series style chair that Professor Charles Xavier rides in on, and it's Sir Patrick Stewart, and it's just the showing that we were in didn't cheer as much as what we usually hear, but a few of us cheered. Me and my friends cheered. We were like, "Oh shit!" But it was still cool. That the whole sequence was cool, and then it continues on. Wanda's breaking in, whatever, coming in, and then they said we're gonna go stop her. You're gonna leave Charles with Mordo and Strange, but that then proceeds to happen is a brutality scene of like Mr. Fantastic saying, "Hey, Wanda, you're outmatched, you're outnumbered, you're outpowered," and he's like, his voice can kill you, which he probably shouldn't have said that. I'm a little cocky, I guess. This Mr. Fantastic, and he tries to scream because Anson Mount's character can't talk now. He lost his mouth, and his head just fucking and proceeds to be one of the best scenes after this point. I'm not gonna describe anymore. The brutality killing of the Illuminati in a crazy action sequence, and it's intense and it's fucking cool, and it shows you Wanda's power, and it makes you smile even if like, oh, they brutally killed these cool characters that we got to see. It feels right for the film, and it's definitely something Raimi would do. Going forward, Strange and Mortal fight, they get out. And then Charles gets to go into the mind of Wanda, and try to get this universe's Wanda to take over her own body that our Scarlet Witch is controlling. And he comes to see like this beautiful X-Men animated series, X-Men Evolution style of mind and comic book style of mind, going in and trying to help you, which we hadn't really seen much of Professor Charles Xavier doing. So that was really cool in the movie, seeing Patrick Stewart do that, but losing to the Scarlet Witch and being brutally neck snap, which is crazy as well. We've had to see Charles die twice. Sir Patrick Stewart died twice. So sad. But it's cool seeing him, and then proceeds to go through this very horror part where they're running away from Wanda, trying to get to the multiverse. And it's intense, and the movie continues forward long, doing some stuff with Wanda, being forced back into her plane, and it's a wild ride with a lot of cool choices. And I'm not going to go into more of like that ending part of the movie, because that's a really, really cool part of the film, where Wanda does some things, but realizes has a beautiful heart-to-heart at the end. This is something I gotta say. Wanda realizes that she's a monster to her kids, who are not really her kids, but this Wanda's kids, and it's just a beautiful moment where she realizes she's the monster to the monster that she's always fought. The monsters like Ultron and Thanos. She realizes she's a monster to these kids. Beautiful, beautiful writing. The writing of Wanda throughout the MCU has been, once you look at it now, in hindsight, when you pull out with all the stuff so far of Wanda, it's beautiful. And the story of Wanda throughout the story is great. Her tragic childhood to her love with Vision, her tragic childhood to the experiments of Hydra and the killing of her parents and that stuff, to joining the Avengers, to meeting Vision, to falling in love with Vision, to having to kill him, but then see him get resurrected and killed again, and then coming back after being dusted to fight Thanos, and be absolutely pissed to the WandaVision show, to now. The story that they wanted to tell of Wanda has been great, and Elizabeth Olsen did a 100% great job. One of the best performances I've seen in the MCU. Elizabeth Olsen just getting better as the more movies she gets in, and the movie leaves in a place. Did she die or did she not die? I have a feeling we will see Wanda again. Just, we don't know when. If we're gonna get that show, but we'll see if we get that show. I do think if we left it here for Wanda for a while, that would be okay until we get the X-Men. But she would also be very important to the story. And we do know that Elizabeth Olsen has said, The House of M is a book that she really enjoyed when she was reading up on Wanda, and that she said recently, she wants to say no more mutants in the MCU at some point, which would be cool to do House of M. You would need a few other characters for that, but I would be down for that at some point. Or Let There Be Mutants or something, something cool like that in the MCU, in the 616 world. But America Chavez, great acting, great. Steven stepped into the shoes. Isn't my favorite actor in the movie, but still does a great job. And he's a great catalyst character to watch through the film. And then Elizabeth Olsen did an amazing job, intense job. And then all the cameos were really great and really on spot on. The only thing I would say is I didn't like the end credit scene, which we get, I'm not going to spoil who she is, but she's a wife to Strange at some point. And it doesn't make sense to people who have never read a Doctor Strange comic book, or like, it doesn't hype you up as much as like Thanos would have, or like, some other thing would have, like a Kang the Conqueror type of thing, something like that. But is it cool for the potential of Doctor Strange 3? It's cool. For the overall MCU, it's not so much a big deal, and it's kind of 90% of the movie go down. It's just like, who the fuck is that? The only thing that's cool about it is Charlize Theron was playing her. That's it. You can look it up if you want to know who that is. But that's the only thing cool about it, in my opinion. And then the second credit scene is just a truly funny thing, kind of like Deadpool, like it's over, type of thing in the end. Which, if you're going to see it in theaters, which I don't think it's in theaters much longer, I think it might be already out, or maybe at this point. But you don't need to stick around for that second one unless you're curious and want to laugh. But other than that, it was a great film. I would give this a solid. I'll give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's really good, really fun. There's a lot of aspects. The acting in it is fantastic. I don't think it's the best movie, but I do think it's a lot of fun. It's not my top 5, but it might be my top 10 or top 15 of the MCU because of how fun it is in only the films. But it's not the worst. It's not the best. It's like right in the middle of all the films. It's not better than Thor Ragnarok, and it's not better than Endgame or Infinity War, but it's better than a lot of some-films. It's not better than Captain America or Soldier, for example. But it's good, solid, middle ground film. Not bad, not insanely good. It's right in the middle, but it's a good part of the movie. It's a movie I'd watch again for that feeling of Wanda. And you can tell they're going, it's just another style, the horror style, the fantastical with the horror. And I hope Sam Raimi does more movies, another Doctor Strange film, or another Marvel film, like the Midnight Suns, or something like that. And I just think that would be kind of cool. So a 7.5. That's my review with this, or my thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness. I'm finally uploading it to gave a lot of people a chance to go see the film, because a lot of people were posting literally spoilers as like thumbnails and Facebook posts and stuff. And I was like, guys, let people see the film, because that's the beauty of film. It's like, you want to be surprised, you want to go into the movie excited. What did you think of Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness? Did you not like it? Did you like it? Did you not care about it, really? What do you think about Sam Raimi coming back and doing another superhero movie? And do you think he might do something else at some point? Another superhero movie? I think he's fit. Like, Sam Raimi's always found his stride with horror films. Superhero films have always been like, I think he's always had a big love for that, and I think it's glad that he almost got a redemption of sorts to come back long time later and do this, and do it for the MCU, as well as got the name drop Spider-Man, which is kind of cool in the movie. So, I mean, let me know what you thought of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness in the comments. I've been very consistent with my Skyrim Let's Play. I'm going to continue to churn that out. This is coming up on Saturday. Yesterday I posted Skyrim episode. This is coming up on Saturday because I promised I would do this week. And then Sunday I'm gonna do some more Skyrim videos out and then we'll continue on with Skyrim, as well as Mark's working on some Let's Plays for his next Let's Play, which he will be revealed all soon. But yeah, this is Bloodhaven Gaming. I'm Scotty. The other guy on the channel is Mark, which he's not in this video, obviously. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Comment. I would love to chat. We have social media, Bloodhaven Gaming, Twitter, Instagram. We do have a Facebook, but we kind of... It seems like Facebook's hard for this kind of thing, if you're not a bigger YouTuber. So, but if you find our Facebook page, you could go in there as well. We'll definitely respond. But yeah, we're doing a lot more videos, a lot more movie reviews, gaming, and more random shit probably. But let me know what you thought. I'll see you in another Doctor Strange or MCU or movie review or something. I have no idea what it will be, or Skyrim or whatever. But see you next time. See you later. Peace.